back, man. What's this? We here for episode 3.
Episode 3.
Yeah, if this is your first time listening in,
Who we be?
it's your guy Ray Masonette, and then co-host Ant Simmons.
Basketball ambassador.
All day, every day. That's how it's gotta be.
Yeah.
So like I told you before, we're gonna come to you with a series of topics and discussions, man. Some things that we feel like the people need to hear. But we also try to keep our ears to the ground, stay tuned with current events, man. So one of the things that is kind of rocking the basketball world right now is the whole FBI investigation into the NCAA.
Chicken wine, wine, wine.
It's ugly.
Chicken wine, 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 wine.
It's getting worse and worse, right? Because first it was that whole wave of what happened the first time? They got
they call Rick Pitino in Louisville.
Pitino, Louisville,
with the sex mistresses, man.
That was not, but that was a couple months ago. The recent one was the kid, Brian Bowen.
Yeah,
on the stacks. So I think Louisville had to get him up out of there. In which he will still get, I think, 85% of his contract, which is millions. Yeah. So same thing. So it's happening currently now.
Time out. You hit me something new. Like, what you mean 85% of his contract?
That's the rule. So let me bring it to more recent events. Sean Miller, Arizona. He's likely going to get fired for being wiretapped and having conversations about paying DeAndre Ayton, 7'1", phenomenal stud, paying him $100,000 to come to Arizona, and he's gonna get fired, but he's gonna get 85% of that contract. So he makes, if I read this right, read the ESPN report, he makes $2.1 million a year. I think his contract was up until 2022, 2023. He's gonna get, if they fire him, they'll pay him 85% of that contract. So I think it was like
$10 million.
$10 million. He gonna get $10 million if they let him go. Bananas.
But what you mean is, okay, I get that. But what you mean Brian Bowen gets 85%?
No, I was talking about not Brian Bowen. I was talking about Pitino. Yeah.
Okay. That's where I was like, hold up. All right.
Yeah,
We back.
Brian
My fault.
Gets nothing.
That's what I'm saying. I was about to be like,
yeah.
My fault.
So here's the thing, right? I'm on Twitter super heavy. I follow as much knowledgeable basketball people as I can. I also follow some not so knowledgeable people for entertainment purposes. But now when this comes out, you hear the age-old argument: should players be paid? Let me say it again: should collegiate athletes be paid? And one of the things that irks me more than anything, well, let me back up. Yes, they should be paid, and I'll get into that in a second. But one of the things that irks me more than anything is when people say they are getting paid in terms of getting a scholarship.
That's bad.
Say it again.
That's bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
That means I'm sorry.
Let them know the lingo.
For the
that
means that's whack. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Students, athletes, they should get paid. Period. I don't understand it. For me, and the more we talk about this, like I'm taking the common sense angle today, and that is this: anytime somebody is making money off you, you should get compensated for it. Like education and something to eat and a roof over your head is not
compensation, right?
That's not for making millions of dollars. Like, it even goes as far as, let's keep it real. Like, Nike prints jerseys. The jerseys don't have the name of the back of the player because it's college, but they have their number.
Right.
So whatever player is current that year, they sell that jersey. They sell that number. You have to pay to go to the Carolina Duke game. You have to pay to go see Ohio State, Michigan. Like, why can't these kids get some type of allowance? Like, it makes no sense at all. Like, education, all that, that's not enough.
No,
like,
it's
that's not enough at all.
Because let me compare it to corporate America, right? Corporate America, like if you find a job, a really good job, and they have to move you, right? Say you find a job and they're gonna move you from North Carolina to Utah. A lot of times what they'll do is provide you corporate housing. They'll give you a stipend. But that does not mean that they still will not pay you for your services.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean? So it's just, it kills me when people try to kind of pawn this off as, oh, they get this education. And, you know, I had to go back to Sherman, what's the dude's name from the Seahawks?
Richard Sherman?
Yeah, Richard Sherman. He had a good segment on what it's like to be a collegiate athlete.
Yes, that's all about the
It's crazy. And I alluded to this our last episode 2, where it's just like, are they truly student athletes or are they athlete students? You know, and they are absolutely, without a doubt, especially at these high major universities, athlete student. Athletics come first. They can't take a major like computer science, engineering, or biology or something like that. Majority of the time, they're taking communications because that's the most flexible schedule that allows them to incorporate their daily must-do activities for whatever sport they're playing. We're talking about basketball, but the same goes for football players too, right? And it's crazy, right? These kids literally have to tailor their schedule around what the coaching staff has prepared for them so they can be ready for basketball.
Yeah, Division I. Any sport, Division I. It's year round.
Year round.
As soon as you sign, you may have to go to school 2 weeks before school starts, depending on what sport it is, and it's year round. Like, it's a big business. Like, I remember a few years back, they were talking about the revenue that UConn men's and women's basketball program bring to the state of Connecticut. It was like
not just the school.
Right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like, it was like 9.1 million for Gino Auriemma and them, and like Jim Calhoun was like 6 million. Like, come on, what?
And the players can't get none of that.
Exactly.
And the argument I hear the absolute most. Well, if you pay the basketball players, you're gonna have to pay the wrestlers and, you know, the figure skaters. I'm like, listen. Those sports do not generate millions upon millions of dollars for that school. You don't have to pay them if they're not generating revenue. You got these basketball players generating millions of dollars for not only the school, but as you just said, the city. You can find a way. Like, if you've been to college, you've seen programs like work study, where you get paid as a student to work on campus, in the campus library, and in the campus help center. Like, it's the same kind of setup. All you have to do is create some similar model where it's a lot more money, but it is not as hard or as difficult as people are making it out to be, especially since they haven't tried nothing yet.
I mean, and for me, I'm going to kind of go against your point here, because I feel like if you're a college athlete Division I feel like you should go Division I, Division II, Division III. You know what I'm saying? Like, depending on how it is, because Division I athletes have to deal with a lot more because it's at the highest level.
Right.
And the majority of the universities they're at, besides certain small conferences, like, the goal is to win, you know what I'm saying, the national championship.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, like for example, like, I'm pretty sure Penn State volleyball, the women's, like, they've won like multiple national championships over the last 10 years span. Where it can be like, it's like some, like with hockey, I think it's like Boston University is good, but like, regardless, if you're an athlete Division I, you should get some type of allowance because you cannot work.
Okay.
Like, that's my thing. Like, a lot of situations you really can't work.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't go out and make, like, a regular student can go take their normal course load and then go to work.
Yep.
If you play a sport, no matter what it is, I don't care if you play lacrosse, like, it's going to be year-round with weight room. So it's like, if you cannot work,
you got it.
Yes, like, I feel like it should be like maybe the pay scale should be different.
Absolutely, I was just about to say, so maybe the pay scale should be based on the type of income you bring in.
Right, or the type of revenue that program is bringing in. Right. But regardless, like, if that program is good, you're making money off those athletes, so they should be compensated for it. Like, think about times when them athletes got to go sign autographs, or them days they gotta get up, you know what I'm saying, for the fans.
Media stuff.
Like, the fans are paying to see them and they're never seeing the money. Like, you gotta take a picture. All them special engagements they gotta go to.
Man, and a good thing for the audience, man, for y'all to check out. Ben Simmons had a special. I think it was a Showtime special, but I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, One and Done, where he, like, Ben Simmons probably was the most realist, transparent athlete I've seen, talking about how he just doesn't agree with the NCAA and how they profit off of him, but they can't see it down. Yeah. Like, you know, basically the synopsis is this Australian-born kid whose dream was to always play in the NBA, not the NCAA. But to get to the NBA, with the rules in place, he has to go through the NCAA. So he has to deal with all the propaganda and that stuff like that. So, I mean, check it out, man. It gives you a good perspective, you know, on the day in the life of what he has to go through. But another thing I want to talk about in regard to that topic was the pay of the coaches. And I need you to feel me on this, right? If we can't pay the players for whatever semi-BS reason, how in the fucking hell do we justify paying their coaches millions of dollars? They don't get, you know, maybe a six-figure salary. They get $1 million contracts.
Yeah. What's the problem?
The problem is, how do they get so much money, but we can't figure out, like, how do
the beef shouldn't be with the coaches. The beef should be with the NCAA, man. They crooks. Like, it's levels. Like, all I think this does is expose what the truth is with life, period, in general. Like, a lot of times, like, I was just telling, like, I was having a conversation with some of my students last week at school. It's just like, a lot of times, like, as kids, like, you sit down when you get in trouble and with your parent or a teacher or something, you be like, life isn't fair.
Right.
And then, you know what I'm saying, like, or you hear people say life isn't fair. You know what I'm saying, what the case may be. But the reality is, it isn't, though.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different for different people.
Right.
It's different for different situations. Like, the NCAA is pimping because they're crooks. Mm-hmm. It's the level before you go pro. So, they get to see you a pro. They know you're a pro. So it's like they put a level in place for
them to profit off you.
For them to profit off you being a pro. And it's just like, I'm not mad with a coach because you huncho.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, athletes have to be taught how to become a team.
Right.
So you have trainers, coaches, assistant coaches. You know what I'm saying? Everybody going after one common goal, bonding,
right,
putting together. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I get it, but the issue is the NCAA is stopping it with the coach. The coach can set you up, but those kids have to sacrifice their body.
Right.
They have to sacrifice that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have to keep a certain GPA. Like, they have to do so much and then come out and give it on the line for alumni and all these different people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's, mind you, it's people profiting betting off of it. Mm-hmm. It's people profiting off their jersey. Like, it's people profiting off the event or the turn they playing in.
Right.
And everybody getting money except for the dudes that's putting the ball in the basket or running it to the end zone, right, or hitting it over the fence. Then, when somebody pay them, red flag.
Right.
Yo, out of here, man.
Red flag.
Hey, yo, NCAA, y'all suck.
And it's not, yo, if they buy him a cheeseburger.
Yo, slice of pizza, man.
Slice, yo, you want a slice? They like, nah, I can't.
Slice of pizza, let you know your options of you being able to take care of your family. Red flag.
That's crazy. And yeah, you right. My problem, you know, my statement wasn't the coaches being the issue. It was just the fact that they make so much goddamn money. And then you can't justify. And then it's just like, it gets even deeper when you go into the NCAA tournament because they get bonuses as they advance.
Yeah, man.
Like, I was reading something like, if you make it to the Final Four, you get like...
You ain't know?
Like $20,000, $50,000 bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to the chip, and if you lose 100, if you win 500, something like that, man, listen.
It's like the other year, I didn't know that players, like, you get rings for making it to the Final Four. Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like,
nice ring, like,
like
diamond encrusted.
Yeah, Final Four didn't win. I didn't even know that. Like, it's so many. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it like you said, life isn't fair. My motto on that, man, and this is for the kids. It's for anybody listening. Life isn't fair, but I truly live my life as in this saying right here. You know, life is literally what you make it. You decide. You know, when something bad happens to you, you decide how it's going to affect you and how you're going to move on. Just want to throw that quick notion out there. But we're gonna switch topics. We on this NCAA. One of the things that we wanted to talk to the people about was what college players need to do at the next level, or what players need to do at the next level. Not so much college players, right? Because they're in college. But in a situation, it's just like, all right, you got the offers, Division I, Division II, Division III. You certified in the sense that you're going to make it and play more basketball after high school.
Right.
What are you going to do now that you've arrived at whatever level you're at? I mean, it's just, like you said, it's a blessing to play any level of college basketball, but it's also additional responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to let you kick that off, man. Like, what are the things that these players need to be mindful of as they embark on their next level?
I got you. Hoodie Simmons got
it. Yeah. Make
Hoodie
sure
Simmons.
Go on my podcast, man. Make sure you got to check out the video, see my guy.
Yeah, Hoodie Simmons got it. What's up now? What's up, world? But, I mean, really, man, it's priorities, man. Like, I think we talked about it in episode 1. When it came down to, like, what do you really do it for? Like, so now I'm going to dig deep, you know what I'm saying, talk to the players a little bit. I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. Like, I was able to, blessed enough to play a little bit of college basketball myself as well. So, I mean, it's just, I think guys fall in love with the lifestyle, man. Mm-hmm. Like, what you see, you look on Instagram, you see the NBA players, see him with a girl, see him in the club, see him with the chains on, you see him with the car. And then a lot of times what it is, man, I'm just going to keep it real. Like, guys fall in love with everything else except for what got them there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when it comes to the college level, for a lot of guys too, like, what got them there wasn't hard. They were 6'8", they was an athlete, they never had to work hard.
Right.
They made it easy, they were able to put on teams. Like, certain coaches may not have pushed them or let them get away with certain habits, and then you finally get to a coach and he like, all right, well, you got to do this. And then they've never been there before.
Right.
So it's mental, like, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? But basically what it boils down to is what I don't think kids understand is what are you really doing this for? Like, what college is everything you've learned from elementary to middle to high school. Mm-hmm. Now you're supposed to take that yourself, without your parents, without your coach, and apply it. So when you go to a university and high school, the difference is you can't go to the weight room all the time because the school closes. Right. Once you make it to the university, your weight room is open and the school students' recreation facility weight room is open. Are you going to go in there or not? After class, are you going to go in there and lift or not? Right. In high school, you got to go with your trainer. You don't have no gym, you complain. Guess what? In college, you got facilities. You have a certain time when you can go in the gym, certain time when you can't go in the gym. If you're blessed enough to go D1, it's about 17 gyms on campus for you to go to. Right. There's somebody, at some schools, you go to Carolina, you play ACC, you got somebody even getting the rebound for you. Pass it back to you. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like everything you learned from when you went to Phenom Camp or, in top 80, or whether you went to anywhere, whether you went to John Lucas, right. You know what I'm saying? Pangos, whatever it can be, all those things you learned. Now you have a platform that now you stay by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have a key where you can go lay down when you want to. You have a key where you get in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to apply those things yourself. Right. Like, are you going to practice after practice, or what you're doing in practice is just enough? That's the difference. Like, that's the difference. Are you going to school to smoke and drink, or are you going to school to find your major, figure out what you're going to do, and try to put yourself in a position to make the league? Right. It's all choices. So what you're supposed to do at the next level is work. But this time, without adults having to be on your back every day begging you to hoop. At this point, your love, your desire, your want to improve, your admirations to make it to the next level has to push you there. Like, yo, I don't think kids understand. once you make it to college, whether you D1, D2, D3, NAIA, you're one step away from being a pro. All you have to do is produce the numbers.
Sidebar.
If you produce, you can get an opportunity.
Sidebar, real quick. Don't forget where you at. But just you can make it to the league from any of those places.
Yeah.
Division 1, 2, 3, NAIA. Just put that out there. But go ahead. I didn't mean to mess up.
No, I mean that's what it is, and that's what that's the part that blows me. It's like it's always it's coach. It's coach. It's coach. I got to transfer. It's coach. It's coach. It's coach. It's like I don't get it. Like you signed. So what the hell was you looking at in the beginning of the process?
So
you went on the visit. You talked to that man on the phone.
You brought up a good point.
Y'all got messages, man.
And we're gonna
what the hell was y'all talking about?
We're gonna get on the transferring right after this topic.
What the hell was they talking about, right?
I don't know. And that's the thing, right? Like we gonna jump in when we jump into the transfer topic. We're gonna talk about are they being sold dreams?
Who's advising these brothers?
Don't know, or people who don't know. But back to what you need to do when you get there, man. I think I really don't have nothing to follow up on that with you. I mean, basically summing it up though, man, because I know I was a Division III player, and I know what got me off track. And I'll tell anybody my story. Maybe that's a topic for another podcast. We're gonna say that, but make sure basketball is a priority. If you grew up in not so good living conditions and you trying to get your family, in a better place, and you want to take this and make it a lifestyle and be a professional, it has to be at the forefront of your mind. It has to be a priority. You have to, to quote Joel Embiid, fall in love with the process. The process is ugly. Nobody, I have yet to meet a person in my entire life that loves a suicide. I hate them. You know what I mean? But guess what? When you do them and you do them hard, and you're in the best shape of your life. When you get in the weight room and you throw the weights up, you're now stronger and faster than everybody.
I think the weight room, man, the weight room had that confidence though.
It does, right? Because when you put on some muscle and then you step on the court after you see the results in the mirror, you step on the court and you go to the basket and you feel like your competition is bouncing off you.
Yeah, man. I think that
a lot of the kids have
that confidence, man.
Yeah.
Like when you get in the weight room, you feel like a little different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got 12 items, son. Go to the other line, B.
Next line.
You know what I'm saying?
So you already touched on it, which was transferring. Now, I don't have the official numbers, but I think it was like...
It's astronomical. It's crazy.
It's like 700 players or something like that.
Now, listen, a lot of these brothers is transferring, man.
So one of the things I see a lot is the onus being placed on the kid, the player. You should have chose right, or you went to the school for the wrong reasons, or blah blah blah. All I see is the blame being placed on the player. But here's what I know: these are facts. I let you know if it's an opinion, but I try to speak in facts all the time. I've heard the conversations where players are promised certain things, minutes, ball in your hand day one, you gonna be the man, we gonna put the team on your back, we need you here. So everybody's telling these kids, make the right choice, do your homework. But if these kids are having these coaches, assistant and head coaches telling them, yo, you come here, you're gonna be the man, and then when they get there, they're not, for whatever reason, who is that the kid's fault? Because the kid was obviously lied to.
I think it's a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a little bit of both. For me, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of simple. It's just the AAU mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the same thing happens in AAU. Mm-hmm. Like, you tell a kid and they lie, they sit in the bench. You know what I'm saying? Those same guys have college friends. Those guys take those kids. You know what I'm saying? And then, you get lied to. But this is what I know. The kids that's, for the majority, it's not 99%, but it's like 80% of the time, the kid that really can play ends up playing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you can really hoop, The first situation may not be ideal for you, but the second or third, you're gonna find the fit. If it's 2, 3, 4 times, it's you.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like ultimately, like a lot of these guys they're not trying to play on their level. Like you hear all the time, everybody talk about the biggest offer. Because there's one guy, we can't say his name, but you gonna feel me on this conversation. It's one guy that me and you talk about all the time. He's a local kid, and he's my guy. I never had a chance to coach him. I'm throwing you a hint so you know what you're talking about.
I already know.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the fit he at is the reason why he not killing me, because I've always asked you when I looked at his situation, has anybody ever talked to him about this?
Right.
Because looking at the eye test and looking at the players they have for the last 8 years, he's one of them.
Right.
Right now, it's always just like you putting guys in the wrong situation. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just like ultimately like the kids and the parents have to take control of the situation.
And that's
when
what
trainers
right.
and other coaches get involved and they get really emotional and they stop talking to the parent about it, it's because they getting promised something too.
Right.
This whole situation is some bullshit.
Yeah.
To keep it real,
yeah.
Because once again, it's just like what we started the topic off with today. As far as everybody getting pimped and played, it's
right.
the NCAA. As soon as you get to college, this is when the shit get funny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All the way around, because everybody is so fugazi, fake, not real. You know what I'm saying? Like it's bogus, man.
Well, I mean,
you know it's bogus.
And you're right, because it's just like, you know. And it's not just NCAA, right? It's guys, it's agents, it's, you know.
Yeah, the shit get crazy because now the paper's involved.
Right, and they're trying to throw early paper so they can get the player if he's promising to sign with them when they get to the league and blah, blah, blah.
But let me give you another point, though. Think about how crazy it gets. You have this same thing happening with 5th graders in AAU and ain't no money getting involved.
Right.
So imagine what it's like. Yo, you playing with this team?
Right.
No, you playing with this team. You know, he older like, and now look at it when it gets to this point, man. It's a fiasco, man. And it goes back to the reason why this is the foundation of our podcast. The reason why, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we really doing this from the heart. Whether you don't like it or like it, that's cool. You can go jump off a building. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, that's my real facts. That's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like everybody has to like become more educated in this, man.
Yes.
Like this is just a business.
Yeah.
And the more the players are truly educated themselves about the game, the more parents are truly educated about what their child is involved in. You know what I'm saying? The more that the actual people that's involved with it, I know in some certain situations, if it's with grandma and stuff, they can.
Right.
But the more they can try to become knowledgeable, the easier it is for you to navigate, because this is the part that bothers me. And this is like, to put it in a nutshell, it really hurts when your situation is screwed up and you want the one that really could have pulled the trigger.
Right.
Somebody else made that decision for you and you failed, and then now they gone. They with the next person
because they got what they was.
And then you sitting there and you looking crazy. Like I feel like you could deal with it more if you had an opportunity to make that decision yourself.
Right. And so that's when the education comes in, right? Just educating yourself. I think again, you know, we talked about this a little bit in episode 1. Maybe we touched on it a little bit in episode 2, but you know, Google is your friend, man. Look at it. If a school is recruiting you, go online, look at their roster, look at who are the freshmen, who are the juniors, who are the team. Do they have a relatively young team? Because if they have a young team, that means they're already kind of starting to build a nucleus. And how will you fit in? Most likely, in a situation like that, you probably don't. You probably have to sit the bench for the first year. Who knows? But you go online, you look at this stuff. Now you start to ask the questions of the assistant coaches or the head coaches. Hey, what do you envision for me at your school? What do you see my role is at your school? How will I fit in?
You want to keep it real too, though? To add on to that?
Go ahead.
It just came to me quick. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
A lot of what I see, though, is... I'm sorry, I seem like I'm attacking players today, but especially around here. When you sign... tell me what behavior characteristics you see from the brothers once they sign. I'm gonna wait.
They made it. They arrived. I'm here.
The work stops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
that's the issue.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
They sign. Now you going to see homegirl. Now you got this party. Now you at that party. You know what I'm saying? Shirt off, windows down. I get 2 chains. I get new earrings. I get a couple pair of sneaks. Brothers, you shooting jumpers, man. Because do you know it's juniors and seniors waiting on you? It's just like everybody this year, oh, Marvin Bagley. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden the third. Ran up on Carolina. Theo is a senior. Guarded that man to man, no help.
Shut him down.
Shut him down, man. Like once you sign, it's obvious the freshman that put in work. Trae Young was shooting this summer.
Right.
It's obvious that brother was shooting.
Colin Sexton.
He was working.
He lived in the gym.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the real issue with these brothers transferring.
And just to let y'all know and to keep y'all in tune, this is full circle we talking about. Because the earlier topic we just talked about is what do you do once you get there, right?
Everybody placing the blame,
and it's just like yeah, blame goes everywhere. But it's like here's where I'm empathetic, right? I always hear what the problem is. I always hear what the problem is, but I always ask the right questions too. What are you doing? Are you in the gym? Are you in film? What is the coach telling you? Did the coach is the coach specifically telling you, yo, you trash on defense. You got to get better defensively. Like if he's giving you solid reasons as to what you're not doing and where you're not performing and why he can't put you in the game, you need to adhere to that. Take it personal. Go back to the earlier topic. Get your ass in the gym. Get in the weight room.
But once again, it's the player's fault and it's the parents' fault. You know why? Because why am I going to go to a school where I signed Division I and I don't know what damn offense they run? Are y'all looking at the game? Probably. Yo, all these dudes that go a high major, bro, their teams play, the school they're going to plays on TV. If you don't know the system, why the hell you going there? Once again, everybody don't know what the hell they talking about. I'm speaking facts, bro. Like, you hear it all the time in football. When you, like, all right, let's look at football quarterbacks.
Right.
There's always a top 20 high school quarterback.
Right.
Usually that quarterback has been involved with that coach or went to that camp, and he knows from the time he steps on campus what routes they running, all those different things. Yo, some of these kids go to school, they have no idea what system they running. They get there, they don't know.
Well, I'll give you a better one. When they sign, you know, I'm assuming the contact is allowed a little bit more. They can ask.
What you mean? Once you sign, you're a product of that school.
I'm not. So you can. So if I'm signed, right, and Aunt Simmons is my coach or going to be my coach, I can be like, yo, hey coach, can you send me the playbook?
If they can send you a shirt and sneakers, why they can't send you the playbook? Because you asking for that gear.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. They're asking. Can I get a drop fit for my people? Right. You know what I'm saying? You're going to campus to get the gear, dummy. You're going to campus once again, bro. Dudes want the lifestyle, man. Right. Dudes ain't really trying to do that.
Right.
Because if you really were, it's no excuse D1 with all the, you know what I'm saying? Like, once again, like, with all the things you have access to, the resources you now have access to, if you're pretty good, and then you have a work ethic, and then you go work at it, you have a shot.
Right.
You have a shot. It's how you spend your time. Because we this is the thing about Raleigh. We have State, Duke, and Carolina right around us.
Right.
So we see these players a whole lot. You see where these players are after the game. You see what they doing. You can go to a high school game and see them.
Right.
You can see the ones that work and the ones that don't work. Because if I see you out all the time, brother, when did you shooting any jumpers?
Right. I mean, and the same goes for the kids that go. Right. I mean, social media tells it all, man. Like I watched a kid graduate, signed to a mid-major Division I, and every time I looked at his snap, he was at a party.
Every time.
You know what I mean?
Shirt off.
Around the ladies. And I mean, you know, at the same time, it goes for the ladies too, man. Like, y'all get involved with the fellas and all the same thing applies. But I think one of the things we're saying to you, and I'm just summing this up because, you know, we about to hit our time. So I'm going to wrap it up. You'll wrap it up, B. Is that do your homework. We putting a lot of onus on you guys as players and as parents because that's what you can control. And you can only control what you can control, which is yourself. So That's not to say that you won't be lied to, or that's not, or everything is your fault, because coaches will lie. Right or wrong, man.
Yeah.
They will lie.
People lie.
They will feed you a dream. They will sell you a dream. They'll say anything they need to say to get you to come to that school, because there's incentive that's associated with that. But that's a topic for another day. But we want to put the ownership back on you and allow you to be more informed when these things happen. So,
I mean,
you guys got to make the right choices and better decisions for yourself. This is not for anybody but you. You're the one who's going to be putting in hours. You're the one who's going to be, putting the wear and tear and the miles on your body. It's your family that you want to take care of. You got to do what's necessary for you. So, be a little bit selfish in trying to obtain knowledge that best suits your situation and where you want to be. That's all I got, man. Before I wrap this up, I'm gonna start adding this, what I like to call spotlight. And in the spotlight, we're gonna basically shout out players in the North Carolina area who's been doing their thing or is coming up or whatever may have you. For this episode,
is this high school? Or
high school.
High school only.
High school. Nah, if it's somebody from this area in college doing their thing.
I gotta shout somebody out.
All right, who you gonna shout out?
You go first.
All right, so the person I'm giving a shout out to, putting the spotlight on.
Yeah, son. Nah.
State champ, Greg Gant.
GG.
Greg Gant. The kid has been on a tear all season, and I think it kind of folded over from AAU.
But I tell you, he was a monster.
You told me he was a monster when we were at the John Wall Classic. Now I will say this.
Whoa! That's disrespect, son.
Oh, wait,
I told you this more than a year ago.
Was
dog.
it more than a year ago?
I
take it. Look,
come on, son.
Look, I take it.
Come on,
I was
son.
wrong. Look, Greg, listen. There were some things when I saw you as a sophomore. There were some things in your game that I felt like you weren't allowing to live up to your potential. Like, I felt like you were playing holding yourself back. So, naturally, I wasn't sold. I was like, he has to get better. But then, Aunt Simmons comes along and was like, nah, he's a certified stud. And I was just like, stud, I'm not sure.
Told that brother just to wait. And
then so for me, it was John Wall Classic, where you stepped out of your shell, man, and it was a beautiful sight.
He was doing that in gelato.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what? And, we show people love. Shout out to Gilbert Abraham. Akin Athletics. I know he works heavy with him, so I can tell he's helped not only with the physical but the mental, because
he's a monster.
Absolute monster.
He's a monster.
All right, so my spotlight goes to Greg Gant, Trinity High School, Fayetteville, North Carolina, now state champion.
I mean, mine gonna go to just a local kid. Only reason why I'm showing him love right now is, one, that's my guy. Two, I know nobody else is really gonna show him love like this. You know what I'm saying? And, I just like what he doing because he being real cocky with it. You know what I'm saying? And because he's a smaller guard.
Come on, man. I'm waiting.
I love it. You know what I'm saying? My man Roger Ray.
Yes.
At Livingstone College.
Yeah.
He calling himself Ray Myers right now. Like, yo, that's real cocky, Rod. He been killing all year. It's the perfect environment for him. Gotta shout out Juice, All-Stars, James Black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He gave this kid a platform.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He always rocked with Roger, and Roger always put on for him. He always played hard for them. And like I said, I don't hate and I love that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Known Roger his whole life. He always been a little cocky dude. You know what I'm saying? But he the thing I love about him is he always play with an edge, and he always play when he got something to prove, whether it's a pickup game or anything. People ain't really like him. They want to give it a shot.
But I think I mean he like you say, he has that cockiness, man. But one, I've watched him for a while too. He works hard. So he's the
he's
kid
a
that
closer
in the game, fearless, and the nicest kid you'll ever meet off the court.
Son, he came to St. Aug last week, dropped my man off at the top of the key.
I saw it. Yeah,
Tween, behind the back, tween, shakoom,
done.
Tween, behind the back, shakoom, dropped money. And then they showed, and he was disrespectful because he put on his IG story and he showed Marcus' face and said the coach at St. Aug, he was like, yo, homicide division. It was bad. Ray Myers. You know what I'm saying? In the same week, he followed up in a packed house. You were from the CI, Ray. You understand it?
Yeah.
At Winston, packed house. Raj catch the ball, come down. Yo, watch out. Yo, watch out. Come down, in and out, tween. One dribble, snatch back. Shot fell away. Shakoom for game. Pow for game. Like, yo, listen. And once again, he proceeded to put the whole video on his IG and popped off like, yo, Ray Myers, we gotta have a session in the lab this summer.
Oh yeah, we gotta.
I'm reaching out. I'm giving you love right now in the mic. I'm giving you love because we gotta get a session. It's Ray Myers.
Ray Myers.
We need a session right here. I'm on top of the mic, Raj. I'm on top of the mic.
Yeah, we need you on the show, B. So make sure when season's over, you
gotta holler at me, son.
Make some time.
I gotta holler at Raj. We gotta get in the lab.
Check out the Ram Report. But that's it, man. That's our.
37 minutes, episode 3.
Yeah, we coming back for because you know what? I'm glad you touched on the CI. Because next week we got to talk about HBCUs.
That's all we're giving you.
That's all we're giving you.
That's all we're giving you.
And we out of here.
Real topics, real talk, the Ram Report. Real topics, real talk.